Let's go. Wait, yeah, let's go. Wait, that doesn't show. You can.
I don't have pass anymore. I do.
Thank
Last
you.
pass.
See you tomorrow.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is do the calculated part. So we're gonna see if you guys can see how to do it properly. And we're gonna go through a certain question. So this is the question that I posted on Modo. And I post to which class, AB class. And I post the view assignment, view, and this one, right? So we're gonna go into this one. We're gonna open another app, and we're gonna open here, and we're gonna show you how to do this. It turns out the other day when I'm recording, it didn't record all the things I did. So hopefully you guys remember how to do it, but I'm just gonna go through the buttons, see if it works. So again, I want to talk about what was the rule number 1 for calculator? Always on radians, right? So that's rule number 1, and I'm gonna add the rules as we're going. Okay, so it doesn't. So with the rule number 1, we says make sure that it's in the radians. So we're gonna add one more rule because a lot of people have different problem. So rule for calculator. So the first one is radian only. And the second one is what? What did we talk about? 3 decimal places. Okay. What's the third thing we talk about? Don't use trace, right? Don't use trace. The fourth stop is what? Reset the calculator? Okay. What'd you say? Reset calculator? Okay. And it's 712, second plus 712, right? The fifth rule, we're gonna add one more. A lot of people didn't know the difference between subtracting sign and negative sign. They are two different things. So a lot of people in the first period, they say, Mr. Ye, how come it doesn't graph? Is because you use the subtracting sign and negative signs. So kind of make sure that there was a negative signs. There's a negative signs versus subtracting sign. Subtract. So especially TI-84, it doesn't happen to anywhere else. It happened like that. So in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through this very, very quickly because we already went over last time. So we're just gonna make a short video for a lot of students that they still get confused with things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna answer A. Now A, what do we have to write down? We're gonna have to write down the accelerations. So acceleration is a V prime, and I'm gonna plug in 4. So in order to take a derivative, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to, wait a second. So there was a syntax error here. Well, somebody did that crazy stuff on my calculator. So I'm gonna do second plus 712, and I'm gonna reset the calculator. And that reset the calculator is always in radians. Always make sure there's a difference between minus sign and subtracting sign, so they are different. So when you type in this equation, I'm gonna type in natural log. So I'm going to do, can you guys see over there? Okay, so natural log of x squared minus 3x and plus 3. And I'm going to press enter, I'm going to graph it. So when I graph this screen, that is going to come up with this. But the problem is they want an acceleration because the part A is asking for acceleration. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more derivative. And the calculator that Shang have, we're going to talk about that too, is going to be using the way that I'm going to show you in a second. So I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to go to math, and I'm going to go to n derivative. Okay. And I'm going to press enter. And with yours, you're going to type in, you have a parenthesis, right? And you're going to type in the vars. So for yours, you're going to go to here. You're going to go vars, and then window, yvar function y1. And when you do that, you're going to press comma. For Shang, it's going to press comma and x and comma x. So comma x, that's the syntax. And we have comma x here. Now we graph it. Now you graph two functions, and this function looks very slow. I don't know why it looks so slow, but it's very, very awful slow. Are we okay? Are you guys confused? Okay, so what we're gonna do is we actually gonna plus y equal to here, and I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do table. I'm gonna do second and the graph. Like second graph is gonna give you a table, and that's gonna give you a value 4. Now, if you see this y2 is your acceleration, so about 0.71 what? 4. So that's that. Are we clear how to using this? Also, I'm going to show you that, I'm going to show you guys, wait, can you see the computer screen or no? Can you see the calculator screen? Okay. So what we do is we're going to go to second table set. Now, sometimes I can change this to input. So second window, when you press second window, you can change to ask. So you're going to do second table again. So this time I get to ask any value. So what if I want my acceleration at pi, right? Or my velocity at pi. So I'm going to just type in pi. How do I type in pi? It's going to be second pi here. And that's going to give me here. So it's going to give me a new value, although it didn't help me. But remember, I can ask you acceleration at a particular number. You have to know how to plug in. So that's how you change your table setting, then you can plug in. The second window is going to be table set and change it independent to ask. Yeah, you put plus the second graph, then it's going to give you the table. Are you guys confused? Is that okay? So A of 4 is equal to 0.714. Now B, we're going to have to ask V of 4. V of 4 is going to be, according to this, is the first column. So it'll be that we're going to go back, change it to 4. So I'm going to type in 4 here. It's going to be 1.95, 945, I think. And yeah, 946. If you round it around, it's fine. So it's 6. So it's going to be that. So you see that value. Do you guys see that or no? This value, 1.95. Is that okay? So now you compare those two things. So you see those are both positive. So both positive. So if both positive, it's speeding up. C. When the particle changes direction, what do I mean by change direction? That means the velocity is changing sign, right? Velocity is changing sign, right? How do I do that? Well, when did the velocity change in sign? So you had to look at the graphing and perspective graphing. So I'm going to use graphing here. So I'm gonna say when the velocity changing sign, and I don't want to graph the second graph because it takes forever. If you realize I take a lot of time to graph that, so I'm gonna uncheck this one. So how do I uncheck? I go into the equal sign, I press enter, and that's gonna give you uncheck. And once you uncheck, then you're gonna graph again. So it's much faster to graph. And it's much faster to graph. So when you graph it, you're gonna see this. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna see this region here. This region is really tiny. So I'm gonna zoom in again. I'm gonna go zoom in here, and I'm gonna click enter. And when I zoom in, I can see those two x-intercepts, right? And you're gonna go second. Remember, you don't use trace. You're gonna do second trace, which is that's gonna give you the 0. 0 means x-intercepts. You can figure out where the x-intercept here. So if I go to left side of the 0, press enter, and go to right side of this 0, which is the x-intercept, and then press enter, and they will say guess. If it's guess, I'm going to press enter again. That's going to give you x equal to 1. So it turns out there was x equal to 1 and x equal to 2. Now, if you use trace, it won't be accurate, because if you use trace, it will give you 0.98. It's actually bad, because you didn't use the calculator to get a value for you. D. Find the average acceleration. Well, average acceleration, you're going to go outside screen, right? And you're going to say, okay, well, sorry, my calculator just turn off every 2 minutes. How do I prevent that? I can prevent that, right? Can you see the whole calculator? Okay, so what we're doing is just gonna set find the average acceleration. So average acceleration, just do it outside screen. When you go outside screen here, they can give you a value. So we know that velocity, that's average acceleration, is a v of b minus v of a over b minus a. So therefore, I just plug into the v functions, which is, in this case, is the y1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go vars function y1, and I'm going to plug in between 2. So that means I'm inserting 2 to the function y1 minus vars y function y1 of 0. And then when you do that, I'm going to divide it by 2 because that's that. So it's equal to 0.549 minus. We're doing okay, right? Do you guys know how to use it? So what if I want to find what do you want to find the total distance between 0 to 5 seconds? How do I find the total distance? So absolute value, right? Absolute value v of t dt. How do we do absolute value sign on a calculator? Yeah, second catalog, right? So I'm going to go to second. But first of all, I'm going to take an integral. So I need an integral of that. So it'll be integral math and 9. And that's going to be from 0 to where? 5. Let's say between, what was the question I asked, between 0 to 5? Oh, 1 to 5? So it's going to be 1 to 5 of v of t. So we're going to say var 0 to 5. Okay. So if I did x, it's going to be 0 to 5. So it's going to be here. But this one's not absolute value. So I need to go to here. I need to do insert. I'm going to do an absolute value. So we're going to do, here's how do I get, there's two ways to absolute value. One is math, number, absolute value, the first one. Or you can go the other way. I think the other way is easier. If you go to here, I'm going to do second 0. It's going to give you absolute value. I just had to do it again. And I'm going to press enter. Hopefully they can calculate it. If they take long time. Okay, 5.112. So the absolute value sign you need to know on your calculator. The last one is, we says, find out when the particle is furthest to the what? Furthest to the left, and where they are. for furthest to the left, this part is going to be asking on your test. By the way, your test is Thursday or Friday. It's going to be on calculator. So you can use calculator for the first time. Yeah. You just need to know how to press it. So if you don't know, go back to watch the video, do today's homework, make sure you understand everything. So furthest to the left, where is that? So let's go back and analyze in the graphing part. So if you just see this region from here to here, my particle is furthest to the left or right? I forgot what was the question was asking. Furthest to the left or right? It's to the left? No, on the homework. Was it furthest to the left or furthest to the right? Furthest what? To the left? Furthest to the left between 0 to 3, right? 0 to 3, I think. Okay, let's just say if we do in 0, I'm going to do right because I think right makes more sense. So first right, 0 to 3. Okay. So between 0 to 3 seconds, you have to take account as what's your initial position. Where's the initial position in this case? 0. Good. So now how do I find out where's furthest to the right? At which thing it happened here on this graph is furthest to the right? Well, from this to this point, the particle is traveling left or right?
Traveling right.
It's traveling right. Good. And then left a little bit and right more, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to compare. So what we're going to do is travel right. This is the first point of interest I want to know. So I'm going to build a table. I'm going to build a table with t. I'm going to do 0. Well, 0 is equal to 0. That's my positions. 0 is equal to 0. So this is S of t. Now, what if it's 1? Well, 1, I'm just going to do integral. So this part is a lot of people are confusing. So it's going to be integral. So it's going to go to, hold on, if I can turn on my thing. So what I'm going to do is it can turn on like this. You can second calc, right? And if you do integral is right here, which is calculate area under the curve between 0 to 1. So your lower limit is going to be 0. Your upper limit is going to be 1. And that's going to be shaded all those areas. And whatever value is 0.555. So it's going to be 0.555. So that is the furthest to the right between 0 to 1 second. Now, what if we're to 3 seconds? So we're going to check the endpoint. So the endpoint is at 3. So that means you have to do all the way integral of all the way there. So it'll be second calc. So second calc. And I'm going to do this all the way from 0 to 3. And you see that it's taking away something underneath and it's going to add something on the top. So this one is going to be 0.923. So this one is actually furthest to the right and this is a position. Now, show you including initial condition? Yes. In this case, there is no initial condition because if you talk about position, you need including initial condition. Am I going too fast? Are we okay? Okay. So we're going to go to the next part. So you guys want to, did you guys do this one? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer. So particle motion. And this is the answer here. Again, for Xiang, this is a syntax here. See that n1, n derivative y1 comma x, one's dx, one's x equal to x. So that's the syntax you have to use. Okay. Now for this first question, you just have to do the one in the bubbles. You don't have to do number line. Number line is not justifications. So you have to pay attention to that. And here's the number 2 answers. So you can check whether your homework you did it right or wrong. Any question here? No, you did everything right? Jackie, you did everything right?
I got all of them right, but could you explain C?
C, it says the highest point. They say particle reached the highest point at 0.443. So highest point, it means the most positive. So it really depends on how they cross x-axis. So then you're going to y equal to, and we're going to type in this function. Make sure your function is in radian. Mine is already reset. So 1 minus 10 inverse will be second. Sorry. It's going to be 1 minus 10 inverse of e to the x, right? Is e to the x? Yeah, e to the x. And a close parenthesis. So once you graph that, so they say find the time at which particle reach highest point. So obviously I need to zoom out to see a little bit more. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to zoom standard. So zoom standard here. And I'm going to check the graph. Okay, so I don't know if I graph it right, so let me check the function. 1 minus 10 inverse of e to the x. Let's graph correctly. And my mode is in radians, so I graph it. It seems like something is off. Here, let me check. Did I make sure the graph is right? Is that what your graph come up with? Is everybody the same thing or no? Is everybody come out the same graph or no? Yes? But that graph seems kind of off. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a derivative after that. So they say reach, the particle reach at the highest point. Ooh. Okay, so let's look at here. It's graphless. Graph both functions. Something's off here. I don't know where it's off. Yeah, I can move until I zoom in. Something's off about this graph. I don't know where. Did I press 10 inverse or 10? Did I use 10 inverse? Did I did 10 inverse? I did 10 inverse. I don't know why. Second, 10 inverse. Oh, that's 10. No, 10 inverse e to the t. And Jackie, you say you had the right answer?
Yeah, I had the right answer.
But what's your graph look like?
Mine is the same as yours.
But how do you know 0.443? That doesn't...
I just found the 0.
Yeah, but mine doesn't have a 0.
Oh,
Oh, do they? Oh, yeah, they do. I'm blind. They do. It's right here. I had to zoom in to see it. Thank you. So it's gonna be right here. Do you see that? So I don't need to graph the derivative. That doesn't make sense. So what happened is I'll just do because this particle is traveling right and the rest of them is, after that is left or up. This part's up, this part's down. Does that make sense? So you just had to find the 0. So second, we're gonna unhighlight that. I'm gonna do second calc 0. Yeah, that's why I thought it crossed x-axis. That's why it looks weird. I thought I graphed something wrong. So, but it's not. It's right here where the x-intercept is. And if you want to know how high is it, you just have to do integral from 0 to that point. But you have to including -1 though, because the initial position kind of matter here. So that's going to be 0.443. Thank you. So you asked a question, you already knew how to do it. And this is the next part. Questions?
Oh, yikes. Did you draw it? Oh, Christ. My handwriting isn't that good.
Okay, is that okay for everybody? Okay, so your homework is gonna have something like the whole part of everything. So make sure you go through and make sure you understand it. I'm gonna make another video for the non-calculator section for that one picture, and I'm gonna make a video about that. But just this video, a lot of people are still confusing how to use a calculator.
Be like, it's homework. It's like.
Yeah. And there's tomorrow we're gonna talk about something new. It's also gonna be on test, which is net rate. I'm thinking about Thursday or Friday. I don't know yet. I'll let you know tomorrow.
What if we did it on a Friday 2 weeks ago? Like we did it then.
Yeah, Friday, 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have time. Yeah, I think we have time. Yeah, we're about to have.
Bye. Have a good day.
Jim, I have a question. Why were you not here yesterday?
It's moving house. You would notice if you paid attention in the
I
last.
never pay attention to anything. You know this. Whoa. Man, we had 2 tests today. My brain is done this year.
Well, at least my class is easy.
Your class is never easy.
No, but why you always?
Yesterday we did nothing. And we had like a pedophile. I was like,
That's not what he was, but he was weird though.
he was so weird. He was like, you guys can never put 8. Like, we were gonna do like a
Yeah,
TikTok of like
they
me
were
and Jake
joking about
dancing.
like recording a TikTok dance.
Of me and Jake
I
dancing.
wouldn't put stuff
And he's
on
like,
the
you guys cannot do that in my class. He's like, you guys are gonna regret that when you guys are trying to get a job. We're like, it's us dancing.
Yeah,
Like,
he's like, all these celebrities have videos coming out of them and they're being
He's
called
like-
racist. And
yeah.
I was like, yeah, because they're doing racist stuff.
and I was like, is dancing racist? He's like, it can be.
Like, just don't post anything racist.
Why is he a
Bro
pedophile?
was like, I was over here. This group was taking like a selfie, and I was here with like Jake and Asim, and like the girl like here put her phone out, and the guy was standing right here, and he looks back, and she's like, it looks like he's taking a picture of his ass. So he goes, I'm wondering what y'all are taking a picture of. And then he was like sneaking, trying to like look into Emily Mina's phone. It was like, he was weird.
Good morning. He has a fear of the internet. He doesn't understand it. Oh yeah, how did he do on your phone? Yeah, alright. I took him to the horse place. Like concert. That was like really sad. Not as bad. Really sad. Go the other horse. I couldn't. You remember how
Yeah, I
he
missed
was a
it, yeah.
second horse? I took him to like the horse.
I didn't know what I was gonna do now.
Me too.
Like, we're not
Mr. Fox didn't show up
the
today.
other horses.
Again, so I had 3, 6, and 7 period. Yeah, just like,
Well, suck take every Monday off.
yeah, pretty much.
And
What?
He likes to have his 3-day weekend.
But I don't know
That's so bad. I don't know.
gonna fail the kids.
It's made for a particular.
I don't know why he's teaching.
Like, why would they do that?
It's just like we have no homework, so like it's not like we can like learn. Like, cause like we just like he just tells us things.
Anyway,
Sometimes we some problems in physics and just expects us to know.
Shannon was like
I don't-
And here's what the failure in education is those teacher will probably more likely to be around next year because
There's a shortage.
there's a shortage. And there's a teacher that does a lot of work, they don't get paid more. So like why would teacher want to work hard? That doesn't make sense for them unless they really love what they want to do.
Miss G, you're like the perfect balance of like from between not doing anything and doing too much. Like,
Well, I mean, we have homework every day. It's like a lot.
I mean, like,
He doesn't do a lot in class, but then we have the homework.
like his class is very like chill. Like he doesn't make us like hot tests and stuff like that. That like causes anxiety and stress for kids. He lets us know when the test is. He like makes sure we know like he has tutoring, but like he's not like one of those teachers that is like if like you get one question wrong, like
Be
you're
back in the
fit.
hallway after school. We don't have practice in the field.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's raining.
Oh, I had a good practice yesterday. Yeah, I wore out throwing next to Rob.
Did you make it?
Yeah, I think the team were kind of sad. I played like through well, but it was like, of course, they were sucking off Rob. They were like, oh my god, Rob, you're so good. I'm just crying to myself. Like, I'll never throw it hard as Rob.
Oh, well, you just had to build the muscles, I think.
Yeah.
I think you just don't have the muscle. You have the length because I think you're taller than Robert, right?
No.
Really?
But a bit too late.
But don't taller people have more leverage?
Yeah, it's like they can. You know,
There's more extra 2 inches.
it's something with kinematics, right?
Yeah.
Don't ask me, I didn't learn kinematics. But, yeah. So, like, we have our first class Wednesday. We're like, we're gonna grow against ourselves Wednesday.
I want my fashion. I'm gonna lose that, but we don't spend some time.